opinion, Tottenham fans, doesn't it feel good to actually get a win before an international break? Those last 7 losses before international breaks were horrible. It was so long in between waiting for the next game. Those 2 weeks in between were a nightmare. I just wanted them to be over so we can play the next fixture and try and get a win. Winning that game against Leeds before the international break has made me more relaxed, more optimistic for the future games upcoming. It's boring in between, but I just feel a lot better about Spurs going into this break. I don't know about you guys, but in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about some transfer news, and we have a top target, and this top target for me would change everything at Spurs. It would be an absolutely outstanding signing. I'll get into that in a minute. There is another loan option as well, which I will talk about as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about our fixtures, our next upcoming fixtures, because they're going to be pretty difficult in my opinion. Maybe that might change your outlook of the season. I'm also going to talk a little bit about our new signings and how they've improved our first 11. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm very, very, very close now to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone that's contributed to this channel so far. If you have a friend that supports Spurs and would enjoy this channel, share it to them, and maybe they can join in the conversations too. So let's get into the video. I'm going to start off with the big news reports about this signing that Spurs have got as their main transfer target. This could be full of BS, by the way, and I'll explain why. But for me, this would be their dream signing of the dream signings. Spurs' target and main target is going to be Semenyo from Bournemouth. This is their top target. This is someone that Spurs are going to go in for, and it could go in for as early as January. Now, the reason why I think this might be scuppered and the reason why it could be BS is because Semenyo just signed a new extended contract in 2024 for 1 year, which took his contract to 2029. But then he extended his contract again in 2025 in July to take him to 2030. So he's still got 5 years left on his contract, which for me is going to be, you're going to have to spend big money on this guy. Now, I know we haven't got Daniel Levy in charge anymore, and I know that the club has said they're going to start showing more ambition. Now, if they do, then they need to slap big money on Semenyo, because for me, this would be a game changer for Spurs. This would absolutely transform our attack. All the buzzwords you want to hear, that's what he would do. He is absolute immense. I would personally, if I owned Tottenham and I had the money, I would slap down 100 million to Bournemouth in January and say, take it or leave it. Because that would be a lot of money for Bournemouth to turn down. As we all know, Bournemouth are not the richest club in the world. But if you slapped 100 million down, that'd be very hard to turn down. But would losing a Semenyo in January really ruin their season, because he's such an important player? Semenyo is skillful. He's strong, he's fast. His work rate is insane. He wins loads of duels. He's literally another version of Kudus. Can you imagine Kudus on the right, Semenyo on the left, and Xavi in the 10? That would be absolutely insane. And if Mawani or Solanke can get their scoring boots on, we would have an absolute quality attack. And imagine the rumours as well when they was talking about Harry Kane joining into that strike force as well. That would be one of the best in the Premier League by far. It really would. But that moves me on to the loan player that we've been linked to, and that's Ivan Toney. I think he's currently playing out in Saudi at the moment, and apparently Spurs are looking to get him in on loan. Now, I don't think that is a viable option, considering we've got Richarlison, Solanke and Mawani in that number 9, as well as Tell that can play there too. If that was to happen in January, we would have to offload at least one of them, in my opinion, because you can't have 4 number 9s in a squad. You really can't. There won't be no room for it, especially because you need other positions to be filled. So if a Toney came in, I can't see Toney being any better than Solanke or Mawani. So I just can't see that going anywhere, and I wouldn't be too excited about it. He's worked under Frank before. That's probably why the rumours are about. I can't see it happening, but you never know in football, do you? But Semenyo would be the man for me. He would be an absolute dream left winger to have. He would take the place of Sonny not like in history or whatever, but he would be a absolute ideal number on the left hand side. It would fill that gap that we've been really needing to fill, and we would have a monstrous attack. It would be a frightening attack, to be honest. It would. You got Kudus and Semenyo running at you with Xavi playing the balls through. It would be absolutely insane. It really would. It's a dream, I know, and it's probably BS most of the time, but you know, it is something that I've been saying for probably over a year now. Get that player in. He's such a good player, and he's only getting better and better as well. So Spurs have a very tricky fixture list when we get back. So we've got Aston Villa at home at first, and a lot of people are like, oh, Aston Villa had a poor start, that should be 3 points. If you've not learned anything from the Wolves game yet, then you've not learned anything. No game is a give me, and as much as everyone says Aston Villa have had a poor start to the season, it's not been the best, but they're on 8 points. No, I think they were 9. 8 or 9, something like that. But they've drawn 2, won 2, lost 2 or 3, depends on how many they've drawn. They haven't had the worst start ever. I think it's because they were drawing at the beginning of the season and not winning. That's why the points were low. They wasn't scoring many, but they seem to have got back to their old self. They won the last 2 games. Of course they have, because they're playing us soon. And our home form is not the best. We're actually better away than we are at home. So I think the Aston Villa game is going to be pretty tricky. Then we've got, I think it's 3 days later, we've got Monaco away. And Monaco's a dodgy one. That's in the Champions League. I think they lost to like Club Brugge 4-1 and then drew with City 2-2. So they're a very unpredictable side. I think they're 5th in the French league at the moment and 2 points from top. Exactly the same as us, apart from we're in 3rd, but we're 2 points from top as well. We're playing away, so hopefully we'll get a victory there. But it's going to be a tough game, especially 3 days after Aston Villa game. Then again, I think it's 4 days after that we're playing against Everton away. Now Everton, oh my God, they're a very, very strong outfit, and Grealish has transformed them. They've got Adai on the right hand side as well. They've got some very, very good players, and also they've got a really, really top manager, and he's so underrated. David Moyes is so underrated. Like, he won West Ham their only trophy for a long, long time. And then they got rid of him, and now I bet they wish they still had him, because he is such a good manager. It was unlucky at Man United, I think, because I think he came in just after Ferguson left, and he was always going to be compared to Ferguson. I think he just bad timing. If he came in now to Man United, he would sort them out, in my opinion. He really would get them going into a really good side. I really do. He's a top manager. So that's going to be, and it's away, Everton's new ground. I think it's just going to be a very, very difficult day, especially because you played Champions League midweek and they've got no game during the week. They've got a whole week to prepare for it. It's going to be very, very difficult. Then after that, another 3 days later, we're playing on a Wednesday night against Newcastle away. And that's in the EFL Cup, so it's in the League Cup. So we've got 2 cup games and 2 league games within the space of a week and a half or something. So it's really, really, really going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And if Spurs can get through that and still be unbeaten, I'll be in massive shock, and I'll be very, very impressed if we was. They're going to be some tough games. So the signings we've brought in, I'll go on to the signings now. The signings that we've brought in, Kudus, Paulinho, Kolo Muani, and Xavi, and obviously Takai as well. We'll start with the ones that ain't even played yet. So we've got Takai to come back. He's been in training for the last 10 days. It will be 12 days now. Last 12 days he's been in training. Then you've got Kolo Muani with the longest dead leg in history. His leg is that dead, they're going to have to amputate it at some point. They're never going to revive it if it's still dead now. But so we've not even seen anything from them two yet. And Mawani, I'm excited to see Mawani in full flow. He's going to take him a little while to adapt, in my opinion, just like Xavi. But I think he's going to be a top marksman. He's going to be a top player for us. He's strong, he's skillful, he's fast. And him, Kudus, Xavi all working together, maybe Teo on the left as well. We're going to start causing problems for teams. everyone knows my thoughts on Richarlison. I won't get into that. So I'm really looking forward to it. And Solanke's back in training as well. So no, Solanke's just had a minor surgery now. He was back in training, but obviously he had that surgery, so he ain't going to be back for a little while. But so we've got the Moani and Takai not played yet, but then you've got Xavi Simons. He's started now to really start to gel in this side. You put him in that number 10 role. He's really showed his quality, his passing range, his work rate, his skill. It was all on showcased against Leeds away. They were a very physical side, and he coped with it very, very well, in my opinion. He started off slowly. He had a couple of poor performances, in my opinion, playing out on that left-hand side. And I think Frank was playing him out there to adapt him to the Premier League pace. I don't think it's as hard to adapt on the left-hand side as it is in the middle, because you're surrounded by players all the time when you're in the middle. And I think he's really starting to come good now, and he is really going to elevate us on. But the two players that have really improved our first 11, first of all, Kudus. And Kudus has been a revelation on that right-hand side. Remember last season we had Johnson as our number one. The biggest complaint from Johnson is he didn't really make any of an impact in the game. He scored a lot of goals, so you can't get a bigger impact than that. But what I mean is, like, during play, build-up play, and link-up play, he just wasn't. And even his work rate wasn't that great. And Porro was always left exposed. But now you've got Kudus. I think he's won more duels than anybody else in the Premier League. I think he's won 20 duels this season, and he's a right winger, by the way. He's got the most sprints in the Premier League. He's got the most assists in the Premier League. He's got 4 assists, and he's scored his first goal against Leeds. 5 goal contributions in 7 Premier League games. It's just been a revelation. He's so hard to tackle. They put 3 players around him against Leeds, and he just wriggled away from them somehow. They're trying to knock him down. They just couldn't do it. He just causes so much problems for the opposition. He's really improved our right-hand side. Then you've got Paulinho. He's got more tackles than any other player in the Premier League at the moment, with 25 tackles already in 7 games. He's just a monster in that middle. Is somebody we've missed. He really is somebody that just wins the balls, gets the balls back, and recycles it and keeps it going for us. With him and Kudus together winning duels all the time, they've really made us combative, really made us more challenging for physical teams like Leeds. And we do really battle well now against these sort of clubs. And Paulinho's been absolutely brilliant, and a lot of people were saying that they didn't rate him and he couldn't pass long and all that rubbish. He can pass long, and I've seen him do it many times, and he's already scored 3 goals this season as well. So on top of that, he's already scoring as well. So he's been brilliant for us. This transfer window has actually been very strong, in my opinion. It could even look stronger if Kolo Moani and Takai come in and start looking good as well. Then all of a sudden we're thinking, wow, that's a good transfer window. And if we can go into January and have a similar transfer window, we could have a really strong end to this season as well. So I really think I'm really optimistic about everything at the moment. But like I said, that fixture list that I just mentioned, if those 4 teams, if we end up drawing all 4 or drawing 2 and losing 2 and and not playing too well, and the other teams are dominating us, or whatever happens, we could change our outlook completely again and say, well, we need to improve on this, and this. We've got to remember, Frank hasn't been here long. We've only lost 1 game so far. So even though he's trying to figure things out still, he's still getting points on the board. And that's all that matters at the moment. He will work on those forward players. He's got the best CV in the Premier League for improving players. He's improved players time and time again, and he's got nothing to prove. He'll do it at Spurs as well. I can already see improvements in Tel as well. So things are looking good. Let me know in the comments what you think of today's video. What do you think of Semenyo joining Spurs? Would that be your dream signing? Because that is definitely my dream signing. Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.